Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. As you guys saw in the title of this week's video, we are going to be doing a full bookshelf reorganization, and this is long overdue. I've done like small reorganizations in different parts of my bookshelf, but I've never done the full-on thing where I take all of the books off the bookshelf, do a bit of reshuffling and reorganizing, and put everything back on. And you might be wondering, Olivia, why today? Why did you decide to do a full-on bookshelf reorganization now? And to that, I would say this. I am reading the last book on my physical TBR. Yes, not just my monthly TBR, my physical TBR, meaning I am about to go do some major damage at the bookstores. And so I want to fully reorganize my bookshelf and make some space for my new TBR shelf. Real quick, the plan for today's video. First, I want to give you guys a little bit of a before, a quick tour of the bookshelf, if you will, what I'm going to change, all of that stuff. And then we're going to literally get right into it and just take every single thing off the bookshelf. I'm so excited. I'm so happy you're here. Let's get into it. Okay, hello. This is my bookshelf. We're going to be starting at the top. And as you guys can see, there is literally nothing but decorations on this top shelf. I don't know exactly how that happened. This started out as a TBR shelf, and I think as it dwindled down, it literally just became random decor. And so that needs to go. That is so frustrating to me. Then up here, this top shelf is all of my journals ever since childhood. Literally ever since I could write, I have been keeping journals. And so this is like my entire life articled essentially. And then continuing down to this shelf, this is my YA fantasy / dystopian shelf. I keep all of my Harry Potter books right here. I recently acquired the Percy Jackson series, and so I keep that here. I also have the Selection series, and hiding in here, I have my Zero Shelf Control Challenge jar, where I've been reading my entire physical TBR. So that's that. Then over here, this was my like classics and nonfiction shelf, but recently I did like a big bookshelf clean out, and I donated a bunch of things, either books that I'm never gonna read again. Oh, getting a phone call, 1 second. I got rid of any books that I either wouldn't read again, didn't like very much, or I didn't really love the editions that I had. And so I actually ended up unhauling like a lot of nonfiction books and classic books because, especially with classics, I really want to repurchase all of the classics that I have read in the same edition, so they look really beautiful together. I'm leaning towards the Penguin edition, but yeah, this shelf is looking real sparse right now because I kind of got rid of a ton of stuff. Then down here, this is actually one of my favorite shelves, and I'm gonna be really sad to see it go. I might try to recreate it so it looks almost identical, but this is my fiction shelf, and on it, over here, I have all of my hardback fiction, and then on this side, I keep all of my paperback fiction, and then right here, I have my favorite little book nook. This is a Christmas gift that I got from my boyfriend, and I just absolutely love it. It also lights up, which is so cute. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it is currently on right now, and I think it's just adorable, and I love this shelf so much. I just think it's so beautiful and colorful. Then right here, we have iconic Sarah J. Maas shelf. I have ACOTAR, and I have Throne of Glass and a little plant. I need to acquire Crescent City because that's the next SJM series that I am planning on attacking. Now we're getting real cozy on the ground. But over here, this is my romance shelf. I actually have two romance shelves, but on the top one here, I keep all of my absolute favorite romances and like favorite romance authors. So we have Emily Henry, Ashley Poston, Abby Jimenez, Christina Lauren, and then some other random ones like Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, Archer's Voice. And then down here, we have some other romances that I read. I didn't like them quite as much, but I still enjoyed them and would totally reread them. So that was my little romance side. And then over here is kind of the rest of my fantasy stuff. We have Sarah J. Maas up here. Then these are, my fantasy books. So I have the Shadow and Bone series. I have The Cruel Prince, Once Upon a Broken Heart. A lot of these, unfortunately, I just have like one book from the series. I don't have the whole thing because I kind of thrifted it or got it at half price or read it from the library. So that's another thing I'd love to work on, is like finishing out the series. I've read literally everything on this bookshelf, but not all my series are complete like in physical book form. And then down here, kind of hiding, I don't know if you guys are able to really see that in this clip, but I just have my Magnolia Parks books, and that's literally it. I feel like a lot of people do bookshelf reorganizations because they've run out of room, but in fact, I have so so much room because I've gotten rid of things and I have finished almost my entire physical TBR. And so it just looks kind of bland. Like I just have random decor when I could like spread out my books and make them look really beautiful. So yeah, I finished work and my plans for the rest of the day are literally just taking this whole thing apart and then putting it all back together, but it's going to be beautiful this time. And it's going to be so much fun. I've got some work ahead of me, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Roll the B-roll. First, I'm gonna take off all the decor. I've now taken all of my books off of my bookshelf. And when I'm like sitting down in them like this, it looks like so many, even though I know I don't have like a crazy amount of books. I have all the books, like I said, behind me, and then I have all of the decor right in front of me. And I think what I'm going to do, I definitely want to keep genres together. I know a lot of people like to do like the rainbow organization, but for me, I love it when all of my favorite authors are in the same place. My favorite genres are all in the same place, so it's just easier for me to find things. I don't know, it's just a lot more satisfying to me for some reason. The thing that I'm struggling with is I obviously want my whole bookshelf to look gorgeous and beautiful, but I sit and film like on the bottom part of my bookshelves, so I always try to make that section look a little bit more beautiful. And so I just don't know how I'm going to divide things up because I want to distribute all my favorite books, but at the same time, I really especially want this like bottom section to be gorgeous. So I definitely am going to have a romance section and a fantasy section and a fiction section, and I guess we'll go from there. Also, nobody says in these videos how you get so freaking sweaty from taking everything up and down. I am literally drenched. I had to take off my cute little crew neck that I love so much. I wanted to briefly interrupt this video to talk really quickly about my crew neck. Guys, this is so fun and so exciting. As you all know, maybe, I haven't really talked about it that much, but I have an Etsy shop where up until this point, I have designed digital products and sold them for download. Haven't really marketed it very well. It's always just sitting in my YouTube bio. But as of recently, I have decided to expand outside of digital products and introduce some physical products. And I am starting with the cutest embroidered zero shelf control crew neck. If you guys are the kind of person who literally cannot control yourself when you go to the bookstore and you have zero shelf control, guys, this is the jacket for you. This is the perfect crew neck for you. It's so soft. It's so cozy. I've been wearing it like every single day for probably a week and a half now. So if you guys are interested in purchasing this crew neck, I am going to be linking my Etsy shop in the description box down below. And I also always include it in my YouTube bio. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited about my first physical product. It's so freaking cute. And let's get back to the bookshelf reorganization. Okay guys, I'm gonna do a little bit of sorting and then literally start putting everything back up onto the bookshelf. Wish me luck. I literally keep taking my sweater on and off and on and off because I'll like cool down and then I'll start sweating again, and it's just been a whole thing. So it might look like a lot of time jumps are happening in this video, but they're not. I literally just keep taking my jacket on and off. At this point, I've put all of the books back on to the bookshelf and I'm feeling almost satisfied, not 100% satisfied, but I'm liking it. I feel like the books are filling it up way better than they were before. There were just like entire shelves that were empty. I will say the one thing that I'm realizing as I'm talking to you guys about this is I'm gonna need a TBR shelf, and I don't currently have that. I don't really have a TBR cart. I like to just keep all my TBR on one shelf. I might make that a later problem, we'll see. But the last steps of this bookshelf reorganization are adding the finishing touches. I need to put my candles back on, my plants back on. I might go throughout my apartment and see if I can grab a couple other like plants and cute bits to like put on it just to make it feel a little more full and complete. I will say, I did used to keep a plant up here, but the AC vent is like right above that. And so I couldn't keep it up there for very long because the plant would always get cold. Anyway, I'm gonna put the finishing touches on and then we can do a bookshelf tour when I'm feeling like the bookshelf is all good to go. I'm having so much fun. Starting out at the very top, in here I keep all of my like scrapbook and craft supplies like stickers and papers, and I have a very cute little box for them. And then on top of that, I decided to put my little memory box that previously I was keeping with my journals. I just feel like stacked on top of each other on top of the bookshelf looks really, really cute. And I don't use them like that often, so it's not really a problem that they're up there. And then up top over here, I have this little like antique lady just like sitting on her couch. I got this from my Nana and I just think it's really sweet and cozy and bookish. So you can't really see it very well from this angle, but I thought it was really cute. So I decided to put it up top. And moving down one shelf, I did decide to keep my journals, but this time I kind of took all of the clutter out. I removed everything and have just a shelf of only the journals and then a little plant next to it. I just feel like it looks a lot more intentional if it's just an entire shelf of journals versus like a box in there and cameras. Like it just didn't look as good before, but now I think this is like really clean and really beautiful. And then coming over here, this is my nonfiction and classics shelf. And I kind of decided to give The Great Gatsby, I have a gorgeous, again, I'll show you. I have a gorgeous special edition. I don't know if it's going to focus of The Great Gatsby, and there's illustrations in there. And so I think it looks really cute, just totally displayed on its own. And again, this shelf will fill up more once I collect more editions of classics in the edition that I like. And I was talking about that earlier. I would just love if I had like beautiful black, like penguin editions of like all my favorite classics. So all that to say, this shelf is a bit of a work in progress, but I like it. Then switching over here, I think this is where it was before. I have my Harry Potter books, Percy Jackson books, and selection books with a little bit of a plant right there. And I changed how Harry Potter was stacked just for some diversity, mixing things up. And then over here, this is a big switch that I decided to do. I decided to split up my fiction, and I didn't really have like a good way to split up my fiction, if that makes sense. So I ended up doing paperbacks on one shelf and hardcovers on another shelf. And for the most part, my authors could stay together. There's one that got split up, but like most of everything else is all together. I added a little plant with the paperbacks. I have my cute little glass blown sculptures right here in the corner, which I think is really cute. And then, like I said before, this is just all of my hardbacks. I think they're really cute. I moved my little book nook over with them. I just love the book nook with the fiction. I don't know why. It just feels like it belongs there to me. I love how colorful this shelf is. It's very similar to what it was before, but it's a little bit different and I like it. It's in a new spot. Have a little plant propagating. And then over here, I decided to make these 3 shelves my fantasy shelves and these 2 shelves my romance shelves, which we're getting kind of crazy. I know. Whoa, it's not like those are my most read genres or anything. Honestly though, I've read a lot of fiction this year. whatever, I digress. Here we have my Sarah J. Maas shelf. Again, I'm gonna have to figure out where to put Crescent City when I buy those because there's definitely not enough room there. And this is exactly the same. I really like the orientation and the layout of those. I just think they're so beautiful and so satisfying to look at. And these shelves in particular are the ones that I'm gonna want behind me as I'm filming my YouTube videos. So that's Sarah J. Maas, pretty self-explanatory. And then, oh gosh, coming down here, the splitting up the fantasy was difficult because I didn't want anything to look too cluttered. I was like, at this point, I just want things to be nicely spread out, nicely spaced out. And so I kind of just went on vibes. I tried to keep series together as best as possible. So I have the Shadow and Bone series together, A Curse for True Love, that series, and then these hardbacks are all like the first book in a series. I don't have the rest of them, but they're all kind of like dark black spines. So I decided to keep those together because they look good together. But again, it's literally the first book in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 series that I just kept together. I have finished reading most of those series. If you're wondering, I just don't have the rest of the books. And then here in the corner, I feel like I get questions on what book this is, but it's An Ember in the Ashes, but I fully annotated it. I'm losing my voice from talking so much in this video. I really love the pages facing out, and I don't really love the spine of this book because it's really old and beat up. It used to be a library book. I got it at a library sale for $1. So yeah, I like to keep the spine facing out because most of my other annotations are all like towards the wall. And then again, down here, we have more first book in a series, but paperbacks. So I have A Darker Shade of Magic, Dance of Thieves, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, The House in the Cerulean Sea. Yeah, I know, it's a problem. But again, no, I have not finished a lot of those, but ignore that. It's fine. I will go out and get the next book. Then over here, we have my romance shelves, and this is kind of hard because I was like, do I spread them out a lot? Do I kind of condense them? And again, I tried to keep a lot of my favorites together, but I've reached a point in the romance genre where I have so many favorites that at this point I just unhaul the books that I don't like. You can probably tell I feel like I have significantly less books than a lot of book creators that I personally watch. And so on the top shelf here, I decided to put Emily Henry and Jessa Hastings books. I just love their books so much. Emily Henry in particular is my absolute favorite, and then I've become a big Jessa fan this year. And particularly with the Magnolia Parks books, I thrifted 2 of the like indie copies of the Magnolia Parks series like before they redid the covers. And so I've really been wanting those to be facing out, but they kept falling because in the way that I had my bookshelf set up before, I didn't have enough books to like kind of keep them standing up. But if I combine it with Emily Henry, which I did, they can all stand up. I'm totally rambling right now, but I'm just so passionate about this. And then on the bottom, I have, again, a bunch of other authors that I absolutely love. I have Abby Jimenez back there, Cara Bastone, Ashley Poston, Christina Lauren, Erin Sterling, and some other ones hiding back here. And it's kind of like as it becomes less visible to the camera, they decrease in how much I enjoyed them, if that makes sense. So the ones kind of hiding in this corner over here are like, I liked them because I still own them, but they're not like top tier favorites. And then I'm sure you guys saw I have a whole bunch of like decor and plants kind of scattered through. I don't like to have a ton of knickknacks, but I feel like plants don't look like clutter to me. And then a lot of the little like stuffed animals and stuff that I have, like the llamas on here I got in Peru. There's a couple other things I got while traveling. But yeah, I don't like a ton of knickknacks, but for some reason plants don't feel like knickknacks to me. Thank you guys so much for watching my bookshelf reorganization video. Again, I haven't had this much fun filming a video in so long. I haven't been really doing vlogs lately. I've been focused a lot on like sit down chatty videos so we can really get into it with the books, but this felt so much more like vlog style, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to check out my Etsy shop. I'm so excited about starting this new little venture. I'm definitely going to be trying to like market people and like make it more known that I like actually have a little shop that lives up there, and I just absolutely loved creating this sweater or crew neck. I always do that. But yeah, if you guys made it to this point in the video, comment down below the blue heart emoji so I know who made it all the way here. I hope you guys are having the absolute best day and the absolute best reading month. Let me know how your bookshelves are looking. Are you guys like in need of a bookshelf reorganization, or are you really satisfied with your bookshelves? I feel like for me, I'm never fully satisfied with how my bookshelves look, but it's fine. But yeah, I would love to know. I am so grateful for each and every one of you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.